Moise, I'm afraid it's Moise.
We know we were on mute. We were
playing with
playing.
you like players.
Welcome to Toffee TV. It's live at 5. We're also live on YouTube.
Live?
Because we weren't live yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
And you've let me do that, you absolute ass man.
It's on YouTube, not say
Really?
ass man.
It's on YouTube? What have you put on YouTube?
Because we normally go live on YouTube on a Wednesday and we didn't do it yesterday. So I'm not letting them miss out. No, I'm just going to say, because of like all that amazing stuff that's over on Patreon at the moment, that they could go over and...
Yeah, but they want to miss out and they left them.
Cheaper than a pint. It is cheaper than a pint?
It is cheaper than a pint, Steve.
Oh,
Steve's right, one of our patrons, Steve, sat over there.
£4.20.
It's probably cheaper than this coffee. They've got that
well cheaper than
fancy... That other company have sent that other club a coffee machine and with all nice coffees, but you know what, it's nice coffees, and I'm just going to use it all in spite of them.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't I? Put on your red light. Can we have more likes? There's 100 people watching and only 11 likes.
I mean.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just, that's really poor.
Do you know what I mean?
It's really, really poor.
But, I mean, the good news is I have had really strong coffee, so anything could happen. Anything could happen. I mean, I don't even know if that's a song. I'm looking. Gary Ward says, howdy.
And you've missed, like, the first 13.
I haven't because, look.
Oh, would you all like
See?
Coffee? Why'd you say like that?
I don't know.
Weird,
It's not letting me free fresh.
All right, we'll forget that. Go on.
Gary.
Howdy, guys.
Mark says, cheers, lads. Keep waking up every morning, which is about noon your time. I mean, to be honest, it's probably about the same.
Morning, yeah.
I probably wake up about the same time you wake up. Expect an announcement, then finding it's like Christmas being pushed off a day.
What are you for, Mark G?
Monday or Saturday.
Saturday announced, Monday presented to the media.
Margaret says, hi guys, loving your tree, about time. No, we're traditional. We stay to the traditional rules.
Next year it'll be up earlier, Mark. We just didn't have time. I mean, I don't know why you're shaking your head. You no input in it. You just come in and go, oh yeah.
I wanted lights.
I know. Getting a pre-lit LED next year.
A pre-lit LED?
Yeah.
That sounds like something you'd buy in town.
Yeah.
On a Saturday night. Have you got any
pre-lit LEDs?
Pre-lit lads, lad, I'll have 3 for 50 if you don't mind. Mark Sobel says, the link to the Patreon players' ratings and man of the match form is still up on Patreon feed. Don't forget to vote on it. I mean, they're the things you get on Patreon.
I mean, literally, I've already voted on it.
He says, on the form, I've asked Patreon if they approved of Carlo Ancelotti as manager, with David Ancelotti and Duncan Ferguson as the top assistants. The response so far is 100%. Yes.
That's all you're asking for.
Robert Ball.
Hello, Rob.
Says, Bobby Ball. What
Ball.
a name, Bobby Ball.
Ball.
What a name. Sounds like a racist comedian in the 70s. Can you dose Ped up with coffee every time? He was bouncing off the walls. It was like watching Tiz was one of the... Which one were there coffee in?
Yesterday.
Yes, was I? No,
The day before.
it wasn't yesterday.
Tuesday it was.
Tuesday,
you
was
had
it?
coffee and you were like, you were excited. All right.
It's the same coffee.
It is.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. Mike Barrett says, is this a Circle of Trust stream? Unfortunately, Mike, it's not.
No, it's not.
Not a Circle of Trust because we're on YouTube and, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But Mike, ask on Patreon, ask us a question and I'll say Mike and I'll go, or whatever. Because the people who are on YouTube won't be able to see what you've written.
Oh, yeah. Clever, you see. Anyway, come on.
Joe Mack says, how is everyone's heart? Mine is broken. I wouldn't say mine was broken. Yesterday was like, for 75 minutes or even 89 minutes, I thought we were getting knocked out. And then for one heroic moment, thanks to Leighton Baines, I thought we had a chance. And then I realised it was penalties and realised we didn't have a chance. So it was heartbreaking, but only on the scale of like, I don't know, what scale would you have it on?
Didn't lose.
I wasn't. Like that, mate. I'll be heartbroken when I feel like we can win the whole thing.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean,
and at the
I was
moment,
more heartbroken when it seemed we would have got Villa, but we wouldn't have got Villa.
That
hot ball would have been cold.
Hot and cold balls, mate.
Marlon Wilson says, is anyone else amazed that Carlo Ancelotti will soon be the Everton manager? I hope the plan is for Dunk to learn for 2 or 3 years, then take over. I'm not amazed that Ancelotti's going to be our manager because I've genuinely thought for the last 2 or 3 years that we could get one of these managers. And a lot of people have gone, no, you can't, and have poo-pooed us and all the rest of it. But I've always thought we could attract one as long as, the time was right and the money was right, I've always thought we could get one.
You can get anyone for money. There's the fact.
Go to Dan. I'm just saying.
All right.
Booked it yet, Bill? No. Graham Ferguson says, evening lads, got to say, Duncan has given us our pride and passion back. When Silva was in charge, it felt like a chore to go to the game. Last night, going to the game, I felt like a young, excited lad again, and I'm only 41. Thank you, Duncan. There you go.
Okay.
Mark says, gutted last night, was travelling back from France on business. There you go. Arrived back at the airport, 2-0 down, make my way to the car and it's 2-1 down, start driving and it's 2-2, then despair of penalties on my way home. There you go. And Steve Hardy says, at half-time I was thinking, I hope Ancelotti's not watching this. Hopefully they will just send him a recording of the second half.
You want him to see both halves.
You got to be honest. You got to be honest.
No, but you want him to anyway to see where he can tinker with it. But the other thing is, Steve, them players, we've got 7 or 8 players out at the moment of the squad, and them players are running on empty. Last night, we put a lot of effort in to the last 3 games. Players playing with injuries, and also, let's be honest, this squad isn't as fit as what it should be. Duncan's trying to get them fit to be able to do that job, and it takes time.
Very much so.
But, we didn't have much options. Against the team who are second in the league with virtually no injuries and confidence, we did well. Are you just checking WhatsApp?
No. Yeah, I'm just
okay.
Just checking my own page.
Liveovid said the game was perfect for the new boss to watch as it showed the worst and best of Everton. Bitterly disappointed for Big Dunkas for the future. I'm slightly concerned that he's only joint number 2. Well, I'm not, because he's being made the assistant manager. So that's a positive thing, because they could have just left him as a first team coach out the way. And that David Ancelotti, his son, has been with him for the last few jobs, and he'll want someone as well who he can converse with, because I expect Carlo won't always be on the training ground.
I think for me what it is it's
a promotion.
As long as Duncan's involved, whatever his title is, I don't know whether he's one of the assistants. It comes down to how much say he's got. He could have a fancy job title and not have any input. It's the input he puts in, and it's also the responsibility the manager allows him to have, and that's all he wants. All he wants is be able to have some kind of effect on the team and be able to get whatever he does best and do it.
Yeah.
And not be frustrated by not being able to do the things he's good at. Because of all these people who say, before last couple of weeks, all these people who said, he's part of the problem, didn't know what his role was, but he was frustrated because his role had been completely put him into a position where that was the case, that he didn't really have an influence. He just wants an influence, and we've seen an influence on the team. And hopefully that'll continue, hopefully.
Valhalla Viking said Town Salotti.
Okay.
And he also said Dom King was fuming writing that tweet before, clenching one hand as he typed it out.
Yeah. Clenching buttocks as well, I'd imagine.
Alex T said, aren't Leicester bad Tory buttes?
Yeah, they are bad Tories. Horrendous. I've always hated them. I went to the first game, they got back up when we drew 2-2 with them, when we should have battered them. We let Chris Wood score with like 5 minutes to go because Martinez, that was like the first minute. Yeah, it was like when I first thought Martinez, you're just an idiot. You let the game just drift. We were 2-1 up and he just never finished. And I just remember how awful they were as fans. It was awful, like proper, like soccer AM bad Butte fans. Yeah, with their clapping. Shut up, you gang of dickheads. Honest to God. And last night, I was doing my video while he was singing that, and then I've just seen someone put on YouTube, Twitter before, a picture of someone reporting about child poverty in Leicester. And do you know what? I know when you just look at people and you go, use a scum. That's essentially how I looked at them.
Mad, isn't it? Where are we? Matthew Lumsden said, are we going to get any other business Christmas special? Yeah, we'll do it.
Coming in tomorrow.
We'll do
coming in tomorrow.
Phil Roberts says, do you think there's anything solid in the Ibrahimovic links?
Yeah, I do, but at the same time, I'm very cautious that he loves Milan. He loves the city of Milan. It's like his home. I actually think his missus is from Milan. I think. If it's the same girl he was with, which I think it is. I think his missus. Stay us a favour, find out where Zlatan's missus is from. It'll take you 2 minutes. I'm sure she's from Milan. So it wouldn't surprise. And I think he's trying to smoke them out. But they've got problems. They've got FFP, and I know they're trying to move a couple of players out.
Trying to move Rafael Lau out.
And I think oh, is she? Yeah. Oh, it must have been another one then. I'm sure when he went, yeah. There's one in his autobiography, and I'm sure she's from Milan. But Milan's like his home. Like, he really loves Milan as a city. So, but listen, if they can't come up with the goods, and we can, I'm sure playing in the Premier League for Ancelotti in the short term would be something he'd relish.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there was this thought of him coming to Everton 6-8 months ago, you would have just laughed it off, but because of Mini Raiola being his agent, and is obviously Marcel Brand's agent, and he's got good links now with Machiri, there's an opportunity, and now Ancelotti coming in makes that link very, very strong. Ancelotti had him at PSG and things like that, so it gives the opportunity for him to come in a lot stronger than what it would have been if Everton would have just been chasing him normally. So just have to see. Sophie Gallagher said, with us getting Ancelotti in, I think Usmanov is definitely in. I think he's in anyway. So Pastel says, you all right, boys? Not too sure about Ancelotti, considering his recent record with club football. When was the last time he actually benefited the team or pushed the team forward? Think this is Machiri.
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Okay.
So well, I just found out that my mate has just got a contract at Stoke. The young lad, remember the goalkeeper?
Oh, has he?
From lives down there.
Yeah.
He's just got a contract at Stoke. I just found out I made up for him.
Excellent.
I mean, he's a red.
He's a red, so
I mean,
but that's good.
That's nice.
I told you my mate's nephew was on the bench for Liverpool the other night at Villa. So there you go. But anyway, yeah, listen, he got Napoli finished runners-up under his tutelage last season, and, you know, lowest amount of goals conceded, I think, and the highest XG, if Andy be made up with that. Done well at Bayern, done well everywhere he's gone. I know what you're saying. I'm not like massively dancing around because we've got him. But by the same token, you can't fail to be impressed with a man of his CV.
Do I think we could have got Carlo Ancelotti at his peak? No. Right? Do I think we could have got Zlatan at his peak?
Nope.
No. Right? Remember those things. We are a club that are trying to build something, and sometimes you have to build on successes of the past. You either do, you can do it in different ways. We've tried different ways. Now we're trying this way. Let's see what happens. But yeah.
Who would you rather have had, David Moyes or Carlo Ancelotti?
That's it.
I mean, that's the question when you look out there. Is there anybody out there who Everton could have got, realistically, who is better than Carlo Ancelotti?
Well, we play Arsenal on Saturday. They're going to appoint Arteta, right? Now, some people wanted Arteta, and it seems like it's a nice thought, right? Well, Arteta's coming from the point of being of his only experience is as a coach under Pep Guardiola winning things, right? That's fine. It could end up being brilliant, and I honestly it could. We're going at the other end of the scale of a man who's got the experience of winning those trophies himself, and maybe he's going to surround himself with good, positive coaches that introduce the energy, like Sir Alex Ferguson did when he was coming to his latter days at Manchester United, where people said he'd come to the training ground and he'd just stand there and oversee it all, while the other people he trusted took all the coaching, under his instruction. So, if they're the two options, there's fors and against in both of them, isn't it? You know, the only more positive thing I'd say about Arteta in terms of you're going to compare the two is Arteta's got more longevity because he's a young man. But Carlo Ancelotti could set our club up for the next 10 years by being a presence that takes us forward and allows someone like Duncan to come through and take over after him. So there's always going to be fors and against for everyone. We're never going to get the perfect manager because we're not the perfect football club. We can't attract the perfect managers. And even when we if we were able to attract someone who looked really good, do we have the conditions for those people to flourish? And I don't think we do either. So the club is in transition, clearly, and we haven't had anyone in the manager seat who could deal with that transition. And actually, them not being able to deal with it has actually made the transition harder and took longer because they haven't been able to get us playing on the pitch.
The thing is, you've got to have someone who can put solid foundations down from a level of attracting better players maybe, or keeping everything else calm while Marcel Brands does his bit for the director of football. Your director of football needs to be doing his work in the background. Under the previous manager, Marcel Brands became more important. Marcel Brands isn't going to be more of a story now than Carlo Ancelotti, is he? Just even from a media perspective. So he can go back into the background almost and continue this process together, because you've got someone who could set the club up, like Ped said, for the next 5-10 years. He could. We're not saying he will. Not saying that this is going to be amazing, but there's a better chance that this will succeed than gambling on someone who hasn't done it before.
The only issue, and I don't know whether this is an issue for us as fans, is the amount of money he'll be paid. He'll be paid a lot of money. Now, where does that money come from? How does that affect us? Does it affect us? Will suddenly we find that, you know, Megaphone is sponsoring the bus or something? Everton team coach will be sponsored this year £15 million by Megaphone. Do you know what I mean? It's
Hope so.
Do you know what I mean? It's like that's the only issue. But we've spent loads of money on very, very average players. Very, very average players.
Oh, my baby.
It's not even... Do you know what? Actually, compared to some players, Umar represents a better deal than some of our other players.
Balassi.
Oh, Cenk Tosun, Balassi, Sandro. I mean,
Klassen.
you know, those people... do you know what I mean? So... now we're finally spending one on a manager, and we're getting all his years of experience. That's what we're paying for. We're paying for the fact that he's a big name. He's won a lot of trophies.
He's managed some of the biggest clubs in world football.
Ridiculous.
That's what you have to look at. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain.
I think the only place he's failed to win a title is Real Madrid, but he won them the Champions League.
And they come second. So,
I mean, I think he did lead Juventus into Toto Cup glory, though.
well, that's good, because that shows you.
That's a fact.
That tells you.
Won the Bundesliga, won the League One with the PSG, Premier League with Chelsea in his first year. And yes, we all know that these teams were all set up for him to come in and to keep it rolling. This is a different thing. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be...
What else he won? Pre-season friendlies.
Know what else he won?
And we haven't seen anyone win pre-season friendlies for Everton.
The hearts of so many men.
He did. So there you go. Michael Barrett says, I have a pre-lit lid, rather. So there you go.
Did he get 3 for 50 or just...
I don't know.
Or did he just go to Taskers?
I don't know. And Anthony Maguire says, Seymour from Holgate as a CDM than Schneidlin for 2 years. Could he play there long term, do you think?
I hate abbreviated positions.
Okay, defensive midfield player. Do you think he could?
Just generally.
No, but do you think he could?
He's played 2 games. 1.5 of those games were quite good. See, this is what I think. Mason Holgate is technically, I think, a very good footballer. Defensively, good as well. At centre-back, I think he tends to switch off. And I think he could get it. I actually think, and you said this about John Stones for a while. In fact, my half fella, the minute my half fella seen John Stones, he went centre midfielder. Because just older people know stuff. And I think he's got that about him, where it's like, when he plays at centre-back, he does tend to switch off now and again. That might just be because he's young. And he tries to do things because he wants to be a good footballer. Whereas I think in centre midfield, he might be able to get away with it a little bit more. Yeah. I think his asset, and this is actually where an Italian manager will... I'm
going to say, he could benefit
an Italian, and I'm not stereotyping here, but Italian managers can suss out very quickly who's a good defender and who's not. Very much like Father Christmas.
But also,
there's a list.
Yeah, but also they can help technically, tactically.
But
give that away.
Isn't Ancelotti, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, I know you won't, Isn't Ancelotti the man who moved Pirlo from a number 10 role playing behind the striker to a number 10 role playing in front of the back four?
So made him a libero.
Yeah, but he was still a number 10. He just basically...
Or a regista.
But he just basically... They don't make coffees.
They do, but that's what they call him, a regista.
Because essentially, they looked at Pirlo and said, his legs can't really play there. They said, well, why don't we play him as in front of the back four as a number 10, if that makes sense? And because that... And that's what...
So what you're saying is Gylfi Sigurdsson's going to be a regista
who's to say... No, what though? Who's to say he wouldn't?
Because he clearly can't do a number 10 role because he's not quick enough to do it. And I'm not criticising him, he just doesn't move enough.
I mean, essentially what you've just done there is criticise him. You've found a flaw in him and highlighted it.
I found a flaw in the key elements of what he plays.
I'm not. What I'm saying is, you've just found an issue with him, highlighted it. That's called criticising.
Is it? Constructive criticism?
Well, it's still criticism.
Well, you say that. It's just saying what it is. I'm saying what I see. He's crap at number 10.
It ain't catchphrase.
It's crap
not
at
Mr.
number 10.
Chips.
Alan Murphy says, "Hi guys, it's gonna be some week next week. The new ground application going in and a new manager."
And you know what else it is?
It's
Christmas! Sorry, I had to just...
There you go.
Did he? I mean, the thing about it is...
Knowledge.
I knew it was right.
Bombs.
I knew it was right.
Stephen Powell wants to know, we think it's imperative we bring a centre midfielder and a centre back in January.
Yeah. In fact, add that to my catchphrase and Mr. Chips. I think I'd play Mr. Chips ahead of Michael Keane.
I'd play Mr. Chips ahead of Cenk Tosun. Richard Child says, why wasn't Baines on the first penalty?
Because he was on the second one.
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
All right. Hernandez W04, have loved Ferguson's reign. I shed a tear when Baines hit that goal. Have to give credit to Ferguson for his radical change of the squad and the spirit at the club. He's been awesome, hasn't he? Fatwaller13 says, I've smashed the like is right. What are we on to? The likes now?
The like lids.
Simondo.
68, we're only on 68.
328, you're watching 68 likes. Oh my word.
It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace.
It's Christmas as well next week.
You know what?
You know what's happening?
You know what we need is we need more likes. We need more of you to press the like button. That's what we need. Well, it takes a second, you know. I'm sure if Gary Neville was here right now, he would be pressing the like button because he would like this show.
200 Leicester fans watching. That's what it is. That's why they haven't pressed the like. Can only be the only reason.
Can only be the reason.
Simondo, he's going to see it tonight, so he can't.
I'm going to start.
He's not. He's not. He just asked.
Just don't even mention it.
He just said what you thought. That's all. This is an interesting one. It's something we've said as well. M. O'Keefe 96 last night showed the previous management simply did not get us fit enough, and that's something we've said, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right, mate. We've seen that. And Mark G said no Star Wars spoilers for so I just won't read any out on here if I see
Don't
anything.
mention
No one's going to know. Sam said, who would you want if Ancelotti pulled out of a deal? Well, I'd just give it to Duncan, but he's not going to pull out. But I'd just give it to Duncan.
Billy, do us a favour.
Stelio Contos has said, $5 to whoever brings me the head of Cenk Tosun.
Top man. I'll do.
Sophie wants to know when Ancelotti's getting announced so she can go to town. Valhalla Viking
He's
says...
not going to be in Primark.
Valhalla Viking says, think the first port of call in January has to be an ala centre-half who only cares about defending, an experienced leader.
So we're only buying from clubs now in ports?
Matty Culshaw wants to know your opinion on Delph.
Injury prone. I think, you know what I would say about Delph? I think it was a good signing, and so far it hasn't worked.
No. But
you know what might get him?
Who wasn't injured for 2 years.
Get him fit. Get him like physically fit. And he might not get as many injuries.
Yeah.
You get more injuries when you're not fit.
City got him fit, and that's why you're hardly injured.
Actual science.
Ian Lyon says, evening lads, I hope that Carlo brings some players in from Italy, quite like Koulibaly. We can dream. Pug Tom says Mason Holgate is a shark.
Is a shark?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Ryan Welsh says, what kind of business you think the club will do in January? Well, I don't know, mate, to be honest, but maybe he's been given assurance. I'm sure he has, to be honest. Wildlife says Ancelotti may be what Moise Keane needs to get to the next level. Probably will. Stephen Taylor says, I believe if we get Zlatan, that he will make more of an impact than Carlo. Experience in the dressing room, perfect role model for Dom.
It's in players like that are. I've seen a few people go, I don't want to do that. It's like when we brought Gaza and Ginola in, and no, it's not. It's not. They were absolutely washed up. Zlatan is not washed up, and what he could provide in terms of experience for other players would be huge, absolutely huge. He's a winner. He's a winner on the pitch. He's a winner on the training ground. And I've seen a few people saying, again, we don't need that kind of trouble. What trouble? What trouble is he? What if he's got a manager who he respects? And also, that's the thing about him. If he's got a manager that he respects, who understands the game, and the manager says, don't go out there ripping all our players. He could be a brilliant role model, I believe, for some of our younger players. There you go. Trainer,
I 100% agree. Maddison is one of them people that just annoys you when looking at him. Yeah, he is. He's just David Bentley for me, and he'll go the same way. Yeah. Rob 8 says, I age 20 years every time I watch Everton. I'm currently 55,670,068 years old. Toffee Top 0 says, maybe the reason Ancelotti is taking the job is for his son's development. His son is unlikely to get a big job to start off on his own, so this is a win-win.
I don't think so.
I think he likes. He probably is trying to help his son, but he hasn't just took this job to get that. Dave Walker says, "Do you reckon we're getting close to FFP coming down on us?"
I don't really care. Don't ask the ask.
I don't think Everton are bothered by it if we get a fine, but it helps.
You have to be in Europe.
Yeah, and you have to be in Europe as well. Which
there's a Premier League one, I understand, but. Listen, I've got to literally, as a normal human being, have to say if an accountant owns the football club, he's going to know more about it than I do, isn't he? I'd like to think, and it's his investment. I know it's our club, but it's his investment. If it goes tits up, it goes tits up for him as well. So he's going to know what's in the pot and what isn't.
Valhalla Viking says, Ancelotti is Zlatan's favourite manager. In Carlo Ancelotti's book, Zlatan says he would go to literally any club he managed just to play under him. If he comes,
and
it'll
we are
be for
literally
him.
any club.
Joe's looking forward to Ancelotti's coming. Michael Barrett, all he wants for Christmas is Zlatan. Bob Joe says, for the love of God, no Zlatan.
Why?
Okay.
Why? Why would you not want Zlatan?
Joe says Ancelotti's most likely coming. Well, he is. Free Roll says your number one priority signing this January transfer window.
A centre-back or a centre midfielder.
Live says also Zlatan could be as big as Andy Gray at Everton.
He's taller.
He is taller, to be fair. Mark G says Ancelotti plays a 4-4-2 most often.
This is me if we get Zlatan, by the way. That's me if we get Zlatan. In Pop World like that. With the big glasses on and like that.
And the wig. Matty says, do you believe Usmanov was involved in the talks?
Yeah.
I do, because it's been reported in so many different places and a few in Italy that he was key to the talks. So it doesn't surprise me because I've said for years he's involved in Everton and we know he is. So John Mack says Carlo won those trophies with teams full of worldies. Well, he did, didn't he?
Sorry, I'm just
I know you're not concentrating. And Bob Joe says, well, Johnny's coming so we can sign a team full of worldies. There you go. Valhalla Viking says, Ancelotti is the world's most successful manager at the moment. A slow decline due to his last two clubs, but he can easily turn that round. It's exciting and ambitious. Mark G says he won the title and a double with Bayern 3 years ago.
Let me do some Patreon comments because they're getting angry that you're doing all the YouTube.
Go on then. You do it now.
Dave Wild says, with most of the team running on empty, I'm concerned Saturday's game with yet another early kickoff will be a game too far unless we can get a couple of bodies back. The intensity shown in the last 3 games has only gone to prove how poor the previous regime was in terms of core fitness within the team, trying to play possession-based. Pass football. In the last 3 games, we've achieved more in those games with less than 45% possession. Let's hope maybe Sigurdsson's back, Sidibe's back.
Them two will be back. Delph will be in the squad.
So they can go into the team. There's a couple there to freshen it up. I and we'll see what happens. Eric says, let's have midfield 3 versus Arsenal. He's also said, get Zlatan in.
What do you think on that for Saturday? Would you go with the 4-3-3 that he finished with?
I don't know.
And try to put the extra body in midfield, or would you try to shape
But
up?
he likes 4-4-2. And I think he'll have had a few more days to look at it. And to be honest, it might be dictated by who he's got.
Who's fit? I think Shidderby will come in, and I think Sigurdsson will come in.
Keith Powell says, hi lads, it's Amsterdam at 6 live. Here, very pleased to see us fighting back after being 2-0 down. It's a good side. Previous reaction would have been to lie down and give in. Take the positives from the defeat.
Spot on.
Mark says, have either of you heard any of the strong rumours about the new sponsor deal details? I asked because any revenue from those deals adds to the money we're allowed to spend under FFP. Well, I think Everton, from any sponsors from now on, whether it be kit or kit sponsor or general, they're going to have to be bigger than what they are now, aren't they? So that's what Everton will be trying to do. And with someone like Ancelotti being in, you would imagine we will get more press. With more press, there's more spotlight on the club. Therefore, the sponsors and stuff like that, you can sell that to the sponsors, saying we're going to get more airtime. Robert Ball says, rock on.
Yeah.
Bobby Ball. Steve Hardy. Had my Leicester supporting mate next to me in the parking last night. Probably the only Leicester fan in the ground, not acting like a knob. And was very disappointed in the lack of atmosphere, considering it was the quarter-final. Well, he was disappointed, or you were disappointed? I think there was quiet spells, because I think it felt like at times we'd had, especially with them scoring 2 in 2 minutes, it felt like we'd had the wind kicked out of us. But I think second half we picked up, didn't we? And we got going, and the crowd was excellent towards the end. I don't think we're ever going to be a crowd who stays on it all game. I just don't think we're like that. I think we've just been conditioned to just sit down for a little bit and take a breather. So, yeah. Steve, see you later, mate.
Nice one, Steve. Speak to you after.
Steve Kelly there leaving the building. What a guy. What else have we got? James says, Rodgers got his tactics spot on last night, switching ends at kick-off, yes. Passing it round the first 20 minutes, quieting the crowd down and boring us to death, absolutely. Also, that excellent man in midfield got the better of us. Good, we didn't get through after Bainesy done that, but I think we gave our all to that. To be honest, these players are just not fit enough for what Duncan is demanding of them. Derek Houghton says, hello, Gary. So Carlo Ancelotti looks a dead set now. So full name, Carleto, or Calito. Surely he will do it his way. Will we call him the Don? My only hope is that he's able to keep this passion going that Duncan has created. He, above any one of the candidates, has really excited me. We must, though, keep Duncan highly involved in the team. I have to say, Duncan has been amazing and dealt with the situation that was left behind by Silva so professionally. He has single-handedly brought the love back to Goodison. P.S. Who thinks the Don will hug ball boys? No, I don't think. I don't think you see that happen. Olaf says, Ped, I did a check on Zlatan's girl, Helena Segar. They met in Malmo in 2003. Have been together since, 2 boys, I believe. Well, fair enough. I thought
maybe
there is a link.
Maybe Helena loves Milan.
There is, honestly. It's been a while since I've read his book, and I just remember that he just loves Milan, and I was sure there was some kind of link between. It might have been that one of his kids was born there or something.
Probably.
Steve Hardy says, task for the next week. Baz to get working on his Gary Neville impression so you can have some Cara and Nev banter on the show. Yeah, I mean, what you're going to do, you're going to start leaning the Manx home as quickly as you possibly can, because I think we're very much suited to that kind of conversation with Neville.
I'm not even going there with it. Stephen Taylor says, stop saying Carlo is not at his peak. Managers don't have peak periods. They have experience. They need to bring fire in the belly to do the job.
I mean, you say that, but his peak clearly was when he was winning Champions Leagues. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the good
what I'm saying is if he won a Champions League and we tried to get him, we wouldn't really be able to get him, would we? You know what I mean?
Okay, when his stock was higher. Kev Doherty says, in the summer he could have gone anywhere if needed. Fact. Mark G said, by the way, that PSG Titan League earn was their first in over 20 years.
There you go. I'm not belittling anything he's done.
No. Panthers, Lee Panthers says, next season we will come 4th or better this season. We will now finish 7th or 8th. Excellent decision. on Ancelotti. G. Carlin 199 says Holgate needs to be given some instructions what to do in defence or midfield. Matthew McHale said, last night I was gutted knowing that it could be the last chance Baines has at winning a trophy with us. Well, we're still in the FA Cup. I know it's a tall order, but you never know. Mark G says, I've already bought airfare to every single possible city in Europe that could host the Champions League group stages. Why
wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
Pilchard Bank says, reckon we'll see any youngsters making an appearance over Crimbo, Adeniran perhaps. The midfield situation is very concerning. Well, Gordon come on last night.
I feel sorry for Beningame.
Yeah.
Because if he wasn't injured, he'd probably have played a couple of games.
Yeah, he would have done.
But then again, if he played and Mason hadn't played in centre midfield, then that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you find out players in adversity.
G. Carlin says Gylfi is not a number 10 because he is slower, but he is a centre midfield player.
Yeah,
I mean, he done well, didn't he? He done well against Chelsea in the middle of the park.
Remember when we found out like David Unsworth was a centre back? Remember that? It was like,
and it was good.
And it was for a year or two.
Fat Fighters says, do you have any centre backs in mind that you think we should sign?
I've got one who plays for Napoli.
I mean, he'd be amazing, wouldn't he? I suppose because he's getting older. He's like 30 now, isn't he? Nearly Koulibaly,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. So, I mean, listen, we'd have to pay big money to get him, but. Robert Dinsmore says we won't get Zuma. He's Chelsea's best centre back.
He's not,
and it's reports are they're willing to sell him in January because they can buy better players.
But he's like the old regime, isn't he? I suppose. So I don't know. Brand still might want him, and the manager and whoever the manager who comes in might want him, but I don't know.
Aaron Murray says, imagine when Ancelotti does a Christmas video like Martinez did.
That's it. As long as he hasn't got a Christmas tree with red baubles on it.
Jem Mace says, agree on the fitness shout. They did too much ball work. They need a good, impossible physical training regime. We did say that, didn't we? We did say that they'd done too much ball work, which sometimes that doesn't get you to the levels you need.
I don't know what they're doing, but they're not fit enough. Simple as that. Going on a good long run might help them out a little bit. Yeah. Lindsay65 says Dunk's brought back so much passion. I think must have been torture sat on the bench with Silva and Bowen Morte. I don't think Carlo will mind Dunk getting a grip from the bench. No, and that's the thing. If Carlo Ancelotti comes in and says to Duncan Ferguson, right, these are your responsibilities and this is what I want you to do, and you can go on the touchline, or he might just say to Dunk, well, he mightn't say anything. He'll be like, I'll do all that, but it's the things he can't do. If Duncan hasn't got the authority to go in the dressing room and speak his mind, or what, for all we know, Carlo Ancelotti might say to Duncan, right, if it's poor, you go in the dressing room, you have a word with some of them, and then I'll come in and give them the tactical run through. So, or it might be like managers' meetings, Carlo Ancelotti sitting down with his assistants saying, what do you think? And Duncan getting his view across.
Apparently he does. He really uses the input of his coaching staff.
I think you've got to, haven't you? I think you've got to.
Yeah, you have, but the other fella didn't.
But I think you've got to. I think what you've got to do is surround yourself by positive influences that can see things and you're willing to take the opinions of other people, and not all. The best managers don't necessarily think they know it all. What they tend to do. I remember it was a while ago. I actually watched it. It was really eye-opening, actually. It was this documentary about Sir Clive Woodward, about the World Cup, when England won the World Cup in 2002. And I remember, he won it and he was...
3, wasn't it? Was it 2?
Oh, was it 3? Yeah, it was. They have it in the odd years, don't they?
Yeah.
And I remember watching it. I was fast. I love sports documentaries. The Andy Murray one's boss by it's brilliant, honestly. Honestly, you see a completely different side of him, and you see the levels you've got to be at. It's ridiculous to play that sport. But anyway, I remember watching it, and I was like, Clive Wood's coach and all that. I watched it. He's not a coach. He's a delegator. What he does is, he's like Dave Brailsford with the cycling. Yeah. He puts the right people in charge of the right areas, and that's what he does. He put the right coaches for the defence or the attack, for the physical, and then gives them instructions which they pass on to the player in their own way, or players. And he oversees everything because it's too big a job. Yeah. And I think this is what the guy who does the rugby is now. And that's why Southampton took him. They wanted, even though he's a rugby guy, overseer. They wanted an overseer. Unfortunately, they also brought Harry Redknapp in, who was obviously one of the most resistant people to that. So essentially, he was like a director of football in a way. But because he was ousted because he's not a football man. And I think...
Did he do that?
What?
Liverpool did that?
So I think that's what Ferguson was doing towards the end of being at Man United. He was recycling the coaches every 2-3 years, bringing fresh ideas, fresh names, because he knew that if it was just him and an assistant for all the time, it wouldn't have worked. No. He needed to keep on refreshing the coaches and getting new ideas in. But at the end of the day, it was still his final say on the team and his voice. But he used to take the opinions of all the other people involved. He wasn't, and that's something I think that people don't understand all the time, and I think that's something possibly Ancelotti could do for us. I've been told
Jurgen Klopp's basically like the cheerleader at Liverpool in terms of he gets them up with the passion and the thing, but he listens to, he's delegated a lot of stuff to like Pep Linders and people like that who do, and they've got, what their staff's like, they've got nuclear scientists and everything on it, and he basically is the overseer, and then he puts his input in.
Was it Benitez who had the brains?
That was him.
Or was it him?
Buvac, yeah, but Buvac went, didn't he?
That's what I'm saying. They had that assistant coach who was called the brains, and sometimes that's what happens. You have an overseer who's got a great man manager and the personality and can handle players and can see things, and then you have someone else like an assistant or a technical coach who knows how to put that into practice, or the assistant manager, and come up with a concept of how to beat a team. But the manager has to get that over to the players and sell it to the players.
If you watch the Mourinho documentary, when it shows him at Chelsea and Villas-Boas is there and all that, they were doing all that. He was the overseer. He was the tactician, but he was also the overseer, and he'd take a bit of what they said. What you need, and I don't think enough managers do this, you need someone to challenge you. You need someone to go, no.
Well, maybe that's what,
as a number two.
That's interesting, that, because obviously Leicester and Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers was very highly rated when he was at Chelsea, and obviously went to Swansea, then went to Liverpool, Celtic, now Leicester.
Well, he got sacked at Watford and Reading.
Yeah, and then you had that. So now you've got Arteta maybe doing something similar from City to Arsenal, and that's what happens. You get good talent around you. Ancelotti used to take Paul Clement with him because he thought he was a very, very, very good coach. Not a good manager, but a good coach who could put into practice some of the things that maybe he wanted. And again, that's another really important thing. Hopefully got a manager coming in who isn't like the be all and end all and is willing to take him from. And I think that's the most important thing.
Jem May says Defo gets Latan, he's a goal machine and a giant, a defensive nightmare. Mark G says, do you think one of Tosin's hair plugs came loose and got stuck in his eye when he took the penalty?
It's not plugs, it's spray.
It's spray. It was raining, so maybe it was running.
Yeah.
Stephen Williams said, when I watched Napoli against Liverpool last year, they surprised me by how they played fast, open, attacking football, but also looked solid too, against the grain of normal Italian football. Liveovid says, unfortunately, I can't get to the games for health reasons, but what is your opinion about Michael Keane? Was surprised he got a player rating of 4 out of 10 in one source. I wasn't.
I think that was me who gave him 4 out of 10.
I think I gave him 4 out of 10. I thought he had a nightmare, to be honest with you. He got better as the game went on. That first half, I thought, he was a bit all over the place. In the second half, when Vardy just shoulder barged them off the ball,
he's shaking
and he's hesitating. His confidence is gone, and when your confidence goes, he's someone who you can see has got no confidence by watching him.
Yeah.
He's not a player who gets on with it, and you wouldn't know whether he's confident or he isn't. You could tell by him, he hesitates in clearing it, he hesitates whether to go and meet the ball or let it. I just think he's just not playing well, that's all. Gaz Haig says, I think Nzonzi will be a great signing.
There's rumours of that, isn't there?
There is rumours,
Maybe a straightforward player to come straight in.
Renzi says, where is Andy, the piv?
Where? And listen, Andy's very, very good at what he does, and he's very much in demand. So he's got to go out there and do the work. I know there's been a couple of big clubs in
He's been speaking with them this week, yeah.
So,
Dave Wild, what about Peyton comments? If you caught up? All right, Dave, lad.
Steve Hardy says, I'm hoping Ancelotti can get the tactics right to get a result at Anfield because he had a decent set of results and performances against them with Napoli. Lindsay65 says, make our Christmas, lads, and get Carlo in the studio with Dunk. It would be brilliant.
It would be brilliant.
It would be brilliant. But I don't think it would be happening, at Christmas.
Anytime, yeah. Soon. We'll have to wait for that one. Live of it says, all I want to see is Dunk kick arse pre-match in a half-time. Let Carlo at the technical side. Fair enough.
El Loco says, if Carlo starts hugging ball boys, they will probably call in up. Can't finish that sentence. Let's beat Liverpool, he says, on the 5th.
Patrick Farrell, where's yours, think? Because someone's agreeing with you. Patrick Farrell says there is value all over Europe in lower leagues. Look for players developing, not always need the finished article. Mike Ferris says...
We definitely haven't been buying the finished article.
No. Is Pickford our long-term keeper to take us to the next level? For me, no. Happy with the defence apart from Keane, and get Richarlison out on the left to his best position.
To be fair, Italians know goalkeepers as well, so don't they?
Yeah.
They've got,
Mark Sav says, if we play the way we have been doing over the last 3 games, then I believe we can beat Arsenal at the weekend. Amazing what a bit of passion can do for a team. Would love to see Big Dunk.
It's not just passion, though. It's not just passion, though. It's work rate and an ethos of working hard and getting in shape. There are some tactical nuances in this as well. This is not just a case of working hard and running around a bit, because that gets you nowhere if it's got no instruction to it. So I think it's a little bit more than just that, but I know what you're saying. But you need that hard work in the first place, because if it's not there, that's why you end up with the situation we were beforehand. If you knuckle down and get your shape, like, we'd have beaten so many more teams this
quality, right? If you match the team effort or work harder than, your quality rises and you'll beat most teams in this league, because technically we have a very good squad. All right, it's threadbare at the moment with injuries, but we've lost games we should never have lost because teams who beat us aren't anywhere near our level, like technically wise, but they worked harder than us. Norwich, Brighton, Burnley, Bournemouth. There's 4 just off the top of my head. Poor result.
The fire rises.
Eddie O'Neill says that's what a good manager does. Nothing. He just makes sure everything is done.
Yeah.
Fair play. G. Carlin says, I was so pissed with Pickford that he didn't jump to his left on his last penalty. It was obvious. I mean, he's got to make a decision, hasn't he? But, I mean, Mark G says, Ancelotti and Dunk will be like Jimmy Hart managing Hulk Hogan.
I mean, you've nailed it. You've nailed it. Oh, I mean,
there you go.
Be like Miss Elizabeth and Randy Savage, the Macho Man. Essentially, won't it?
Live of it says, do you think Big Dunk threatened to put barbed wire on the dressing room seats unless the players gave more effort?
No.
Jem Mace says, Gareth Clark agreed on... Oh, my God. Mark G says, Brendan Rodgers looks like a diehard villain. Not a Christmas film. Clean eating cookie. Ancelotti will be a great manager. Only concern is the training rumours and his lungs off the 60 a day. He's only got to be here for a couple of years.
Need to get him on the vapes. There's enough vape shops in Liverpool. I mean, Billy, remember that thing we had from out the other day? Vape shops. Add that to the list.
Oh, yeah.
Add that to the list.
Humble Jamer says, do you guys think Ancelotti will maintain the same high-pressure, momentum playing style that Sir Duncan Ferguson has implemented with the current team?
No, I don't know. He might ask for something a little bit different, but he'll be the manager. It'll be his right.
This is an important one. How do you rate U-Log as a cake?
I don't think I have U-Log.
You must have had. It's like basically a chocolate cake, but with chocolate
covered in a I got it. It's basically a chocolate cake with chocolate.
No. Covered in a chocolate ganache.
Quote of the year.
Like a log and sprinkled with ice and sugar.
Ganache.
It's quite nice.
Isn't ganache the blue elephant with 8 arms?
Ganesh.
Oh, there you go.
It's all right. Gaz Haig says Zlatan winding up Van Dijk in the derby would be hilarious. Okay. Where are we? Ancelotti, this is from Leanne Tolsha. Ancelotti appointment reminds me of the Maradona Dorados move. Okay, but what Maradona done for the Dorados, who were in the bottom of the league, was got them into the final 2 years on the run. So if he gets Everton that high up the table twice, then we've all done well, haven't we?
Everyone's a winner.
Clean eating _ Cookie says, I think when Ancelotti sees Iwobi, Davis and Keane in training, he's going to think it's a wind-up. Iwobi's a good player, so's Tom Davis. Come on, stop it. I mean, to be fair, the pair of them were very good last night. Renzi says, wonder what Ancelotti thinks of Keane. Well, we're probably going to find out very soon, aren't we?
It's his job to sort them out, isn't he?
Lee says, how high will Carlos's eyebrow go when he sees Michael Keane for the first time?
People's eyebrow.
Matthew Lumsden, you will get in any other business Christmas special, honestly. Tashi _ Swiss EFC 1878 says, Bainesy, my man. Jem Mace says, mulled wine is a disgrace. You have to be bladdered already before even thinking about drinking that.
I don't think I've ever drunk mulled wine. I don't think I ever will.
G. Carlin says, Ibra scored in both of our games against Man United. One was a penalty, wasn't it, in the 95th minute? And the other one was
Chip
Howard. Was it Howard? Yeah. No, it was it Howard? No, it wasn't. It was Stecklenberg come running out, didn't he? And he knocked it over him, yeah. Interesting. He's still got, he got 1 and 2 for Man United in the Premier League, 17 and 34. He's just scored 52 goals in 56 games for LA Galaxy. Whether you like that league or you don't, it's still a decent strike rate, isn't it? So
apparently there's only been 152 likes out of 407
I mean, you should be ashamed of yourself.
I mean,
You've gone full Michael Keane.
For free. You're getting it for free.
Lazy, that. Lazy. That's lazy. You've gone full Sandro there. Bad that. It takes 1 second, like, oh, they pressed it, oh, pressed it, oh, pressed it, like that quick.
It's Christmas as well.
It's Christmas, and I mean, I wouldn't be able to sleep if I was you. If you've sat there watching this and you haven't pressed the like.
You've essentially got it for free.
I mean,
I feel like you're stealing.
I
feel like all the people who haven't clicked the link are just basically the Grinch. They're just the Grinch, aren't they?
Expect coal in your sack. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, if that happens to you, go and see a doctor. Because
you never know. Gaz Haig wants to know what happened to Road to Glory. We will do some in the new year. It just takes a lot of time. Yeah. We've had loads of games recently. Where are we?
There's one there I need to edit, actually. It's sitting there. I need to edit it. Just haven't had a chance.
Patrick Farrell says, do you like a drop of Bailey's Irish cream?
I do at Christmas.
Yeah, I have a little Bailey's. I used to drink, but a Bailey's on ice.
I used to go out on Christmas Eve, Allerton Road, Yates's. You know the deal.
Yeah.
And I used to get around last orders, I used to get a triple Bailey's. Oh, why wouldn't you?
It's not too much.
Why wouldn't you?
Because I find like about that much on ice is just the right amount of it. It's nice though.
I've been on the air with you, I know how much is for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, that is, to be fair, that is. I mean, I was all right in Germany though, wasn't I? To be fair.
Yeah.
I was okay.
Switzerland, you were bouncing off the walls.
So were you. There was no sleep.
I was
still Brooklyn.
I was chilled. Whoa. I'm the one in that heat who went to shop and bought a massive pack of water.
You did.
I was the sensible one.
Well, I mean...
No, there's no... But you were the one who got on the cable car at 1 minute to 6 or 1 minute to 5, whatever it was, when it was shutting at that time. And if you hadn't gone on it, it would have been about a 14-mile hike because it was vertical down the hill.
It was.
To watch Everton play Monaco.
It was. It was good.
After we'd had no sleep for a day.
It was a good trip, though.
We didn't say that when we got off with Cali.
No, it wasn't.
We were like,
we weren't even halfway there, that's why. It was ridiculous.
And sauce.
Matthew Lumsden says, thanks, Baz, you are both beasts. Cheers, Matthew, with a smiley face. No, in a positive way, I think. Bruce Jones says, what happens when Carlo wants to spend big in January? And Marcel says no.
Why would he say no? Won't these things already be ironed out? I mean, what's he going to do? Turn up on 1st of January and goes, no, all that money, can't have it.
He'll be gone. The Job 85 says, if Liverpool knock Everton out in January, it'll mark the 25th year without silverware. Can Carlo stop it?
I think we're well aware of that. We'll see.
We'll
have 8,000 at Anfield.
We will.
8,000 at Anfield.
Joseph Rimmer says, should we go all out for the FA Cup?
Balls out.
balls out. Michael Barrett says the patron contingent have liked the video. Well, you are all top guys. You
always do. You're special people.
Stephen Williams says favourite fizzy drink. You don't really drink fizzy drinks, do you?
Diet Coke.
I like Dr. Pepper.
But I like Diet Coke with like cherry, or this time of year you get like different. The raspberry diet, is it Pepsi Max? Oh my God, it's incredible. Incredible scenes. It's changed the game. It's changed the game.
I know what you're going to say. G. Carlin said Lukaku, Morales, or Ruben Richarlison.
Lukaku with Kone. Lukaku with a shoe from Clark's. Lukaku with a B&M plastic bag. Doesn't matter, it's Lukaku.
Jem May says whatever happens to players guarding the ball in possession. Is that what we call intelligent now when a player does it? And now loads of stuff you did for basic stuff has gone out the game. Yeah. The Job 85 says Allerton Road has gone down the pan. That's shame.
Well, it's because the minute that Yates's opened, you had people over the road complaining about the noise from day one. And then obviously it got a bit mad in the old days. It was a bit mad. It was great. Absolutely a mad, boss place. But yeah.
Robert Russell says, I just hit like as soon as I come on, then I don't feel bad when Baz tells us off.
There you go. You've done your job. That's the way it should be. You know, you get up in the morning and the first thing you do is go in the bathroom, brush your teeth, have a wee. Like, that's the natural order of things, isn't it? That's what happens. You don't go downstairs and then go, blah, blah, blah. You do those things, and that's when you come on here, like button, because you're here, so you should be liking it. It's the natural order of things.
407 of you, it's poor. Evening, Samuel Thorndale. Have you liked it, Sam? But evening to you, mate.
YouTube should come up with a thing to tell you who's liked the video next to the
That'd
name.
Be good.
And then we can, if you haven't liked it, we won't read the comments out.
No, that's true. That is true. OGC Gaming says, how are you lads doing today? Do you reckon we'll do them on Saturday? I do reckon we'll do Arsenal on Saturday, because I think
it just depends.
It's about energy levels and it's about the crowd, I think. And it's
what we've got in the tank as well, isn't it?
Also, the thing I said, what I think is key is if we score first. I think if we score first, the energy level goes up, not only in the players, but also the stadium.
But I do think from last night, what it's shown is that players can react and come back. It's not over and done with. Joe Max's favourite moments against Arsenal?
Rooney.
Yeah. Rooney. Yeah. Well, I mean, if I was going to say favourite moments for Arsenal, I'd say Michael Thomas.
I mean, you would.
You would.
And you'd be right to say that.
Think
Matthew Lamb says he wakes up and has a dump first.
Listen, at least you're doing it in the right order, aren't you? You know what I mean?
Do you think our players' touch last night was so bad because of their fitness? We did have problems controlling the ball at times. So did Ben Chilwell, though. How many times did he control the ball out of touch?
I mean, he does look like
he's a massive.
He looks like a massive one, doesn't he? He looks like he went Brexit massive.
He's a beaut, and so
Maddison, I believe, was on the bus with the slogan on the side. I believe. I mean, I can't confirm that.
Oh, Jen Mason says just say hit the like button once, because if they do it twice, it unlikes it. So
you don't need to do it twice.
Yeah. Well, then Sam, he liked it straight away. Top man.
Matthew Lumsden wants my game.
LCC83 says, I'd like it if they didn't cherry pick the question. Don't cherry pick any question. On the air, there's loads of people commenting, so it goes like that. So just put your question a few times.
It's called popularity.
And I'm probably going to be able to see what you're saying.
Some people have actually even paid us to ask questions in the past, which is mad.
Toffee orifice, you don't make any money from likes. But
I mean, we don't make money from likes.
It'd be amazing if we did, but we don't. But it just means that the video it does better, basically.
David Gray said he's dropped a like, which is great because, I love his songs.
I was going to say, he's a good, decent singer, isn't he? I mean, you've done David Gray impression, but Matthew Lumsden wants to see you do Jamie Carragher one more time because he loves it.
What, sing One More Time by?
No.
Sing One More Time by Daft Punk?
Don't sing it, just Jamie Carragher.
One more time. Matthew, you've come across you've put a very good comment on, you've put a lot of smiley faces on, and I really respect what you've done there with the emojis. You might have gone emoji overboard, can't we? I don't know though, I don't know how many emojis, is it too many emojis? But We'll find out. I might, next week we'll ask Gary how many he feels are enough emojis.
Okay. Fair enough. Mark G says Arsenal's defence is a mess. Mark Redmond said, just gave it a like, fellas, from a mag. This must be a mag. A Newcastle fan. Cheers, mate. Mark G says that Arsenal's starting left back is out and one of their centre backs is out. Okay. And plus DCL is going to boss Sideshow Bob all over the gaff. David Gray has dropped a like. Thanks, David. Darth Wallace says, evening fellas, how's your crimbo? That's all right at the moment, mate.
Robert says, how many pigs and blankets on your Christmas dinner?
4. I mean, I've just plucked the number out the sky.
I'll say 7.
But they're only little, aren't they? Well, depends what you use, but if you're using like the little chipolata fellas. I mean, I make, you make your own, so depends, you can use whatever you want. Royal Blue 1878 says, Everton are always talking about developing players, but do you think Ancelotti will scrap that idea for ready-made players?
I don't know. I mean, I think we always think that managers who come in from abroad are not going to develop young players, but like, it's weird, I think, because Marco Silva didn't develop any young players. He didn't play any. He didn't give any a debut, did he? He didn't give one a debut. And yet, Sam Allardyce sent a whole team of them over to Cyprus. So, swings and roundabouts. Whoever's good enough.
Samuel Thornley says, thoughts on Iwobi, poor last night, but being played out of position due to injuries, needs to play the 10 consistently. He is better centrally. There's no question about that. He was poor last night. He didn't have a very good game.
He needs to be
to be a bit fitter, because when you're fitter, your touch doesn't go and you're not as sloppy.
When you're knackered and you're running around and your head's just all over the gaff,
don't you?
Because it's that it goes first.
I think he worked hard enough, but he was just poor. But I think he's a decent player. Like Matt Baird says, the British media is wildly biased. Everton hire a world-class manager and they say disaster. Arsenal hire a manager with 0 experience and he's a great hire. Well, it is, isn't it? It's the whole narrative of the media.
It's the whole package.
You just got to go. Matthias Kangashaka, what position should be strengthened in January? Centre-back has got to be the first thing. I'd like right through the middle. I'd like a centre-back, centre midfielder and a striker, to be honest.
Lindsay65 said, I know some of us wanted Arteta, but Dunk's now a proven Premier League manager. Arsenal can have him.
Stuart Lowe says, are we really in for Zlatan, or is it the media just being the media?
Yeah, bit of both.
Yeah. Roy Hamilton, do you think Brands and Ancelotti can work together? Yes. Mr. Blue, any transfer news? Not at the moment, mate. Fozzie says, up the Toffees.
He said.
Pippin feels sorry for Arteta.
Why? Why do you feel sorry for him?
Because he probably knows we're going to be all over him. Phil McDonald said, if you had to sell one, Michael Keane or Mason Holgate, is that really a question? Michael Keane. DJ Del Grande, do you think there's a chance Zlatan will join Everton this January? Yes.
You don't have to answer every question, when we've already answered it.
It is nice.
Yeah.
Sophie Gallagher says, mad how the media is going on about us hiring a serial winner and not a word is said about Arsenal hiring a manager with no experience.
We'll see what happens. You just got to let it play out, haven't you, sometimes? You can't. It's like when we brought Rooney back. You've just got to see what happens. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes things happen in cars that don't belong to you, that you drive after a night out, that you shouldn't have, that affect things going forward.
Yeah, Fozzie, this will be one held for your... This is one for you.
Okay.
Sat in a different seat to me season ticket last night. Thought the people who moan were a myth, but there were some moaning ones last night. You weren't happy with
Cup randoms, mate. Cup randoms burn my head out, and I apologise if you're a cup random, but I don't really apologise.
Well, I don't mind you being a cup random if you're positive.
Oh my God! It's these people who don't go to matches and then suddenly turn up and they're giving it the bifters like, and it does my head in. Does my head. You can just spot them a mile away. Spot them a mile away, and they're just. Shut up!
Joshua Hall says Dean or Sidderby, both, please. But Dean's better, but I do like Sidderby. Patrick Farrell, yes, he's going to see Star Wars in a minute. Taylor Field, I don't know if Zlatan will come, but we are interested. Blue Boy, Stu, Blue Till I Die says, Baz, why haven't you learned to do Gary yet? Letting the side down. But he's liked the video.
Good, I mean, you can insult him and like the video, it's fine.
LCC83 says, what was Martina doing on the bench last night? Would you be pissed off if you are Niash? Why?
Was Niash not on the bench?
Niash was on the bench, wasn't he, last night? Was he? Both were.
Sad.
Eduardo Martinez says, what are your guys' thoughts on Tom Davis? I love Tom Davis, but he's sometimes so frustrating.
Yeah, he is. He is sometimes.
We love him, but he is frustrating.
Yeah. And that's all right. You can do that. That's fine. It's fine.
Karen Boucher says, hey lads, first time I've watched you for a while. Why? Do you think Moise Keane and Don would have a good partnership in a 4-4-2? Yeah, I do. And Richarlison, why?
I think Richarlison's better though. Clearly.
Do you think we'll go back for Zaha? That's off Matthew Lamb.
No.
Okay, Mark Redmond says Arsenal's defence is a mess with there on Sunday, and it's with a Trika who's a gooner. Okay.
Philip Stevens says, literally the worst cup and friendly game fans who chat absolute wham for 90 minutes.
Sophie doesn't want to see Michael Keane in an Everton shirt again, and Cliff Eldridge has said, Baz, what the hell has happened to Michael Keane? He's so fragile these days. He is, mate. I don't understand what has happened to him.
I just don't think he's a very good
player. He's
a
confidence player, and once his confidence goes, he's a waste of a player. That's the problem. Alsberg says Holgate was boss last night. He is.
What Phil McNulty just said on the BBC? I don't know. Someone's mentioning it.
Yeah, go. Yeah, go on and see.
I'm having a look. Phil McNulty pants. Right, we're finishing in 2 minutes, by the way.
Okay, but
I'm just seeing what Phil McNulty is saying. I don't know. He hasn't really said anything, unless he's actually written something.
Ped, when's the next Nerd Social podcast out?
Tonight. Well, it'll be out tomorrow.
Okay.
Jason Burt said something. No, he didn't. I don't know. He hasn't said anything. He just said something about. He said something about Cats. The film. It looks terrible. Have you seen like anything?
I've seen it.
Oh my god, it looks awful. It looks so bad. It's like.
What?
I don't know what.
LCC83, what do you think of Phil McNulty? He's just dropped more gems.
What's he
said? Tell us what he said.
What's he said? I mean, you click on his blog and it takes you to, which is on his thing, and it takes you to a story from November the 12th, 2012, where he's talking about Liverpool.
Jack Woodward's just said, look at Sky News, Ancelotti's not coming to Everton. It's all been a lie. But no one else has said that.
Yeah, it's because he's a tit.
Hmm?
It's all been a lie.
I know. So, is there anyone else? Have anyone else got any updates on Phil McNulty? Because we can't find anything, and nobody else has commented on it.
How good's that? Anthony Gordon tweeting a picture, the difference 7 years can make, and it's a picture of him with Leighton Baines in the car park as a young kid, and then last night celebrating with him when he scored.
It's awesome.
It's what teams are made of, lads! Right, I've no idea what Phil McNulty's saying.
I can't see anything.
I don't know what, and like, you know, you're watching, you could literally give us a reply right now.
The Dark Arts 1878 said, all right, lads, Ped saw you going into Mackey's last night.
People always do this, to see me in Mackey's.
Matthew Lumsden says, will Baz ever be on the Nerd Social podcast? No. A, because they record about 4 a.m, and B, what's the point? No, I mean, I'd offer zero. Absolutely zero to it.
Tell us about Strictly.
Exactly. I mean, I don't even know what Strictly is, but...
The Jungle.
I'll say about the Jungle, yeah.
Yeah, lads. I mean, I thought he played a great game there as he swallowed a cat's testicle. Cracking set of...
The Primal Nutritionist says, really been enjoying your videos lately, especially on Big Dunk. Your timing was perfect. It's almost like
it's almost like something...
Yeah. Mark G thinks McNulty's an idiot.
I don't understand what McNulty's supposed to have said.
No, he hasn't said anything.
You're not liars.
He hasn't said anything because I can't see anything and no one else has said anything, and Billy's looking at all sorts and no one said anything. Have they, Bill?
I haven't seen him.
No.
Billy's, I mean, he's hard at work, you can clearly tell.
So there you go. I mean, Billy hasn't even like done news now. He hasn't done anything.
Right, come on, let's finish.
Thanks, guys.
Let's finish.
Beautiful again. I don't know how many likes we got.
We've got 232
Okay,
likes.
that's
It
all right.
did go up quite a lot.
I mean, it should be 300, but thanks very much. Johnny Bravo, what's happening, fellas? I'm good, Johnny. Hope you are.
How good's my Star Wars t-shirt, by the way? How good is that?
And Amin says, hello, boys. Great show. 3 points this Saturday, hopefully, and sign off Dunk's spell as a manager with a rocking Goodison. Samuel says, predictions for Saturday, we'll win. That's it.
Right, we're going.
Cheers, guys. Have a great night.
Bye.
See you later.